Tell me about this new technology that you've gotten.
So it's called the Diamond Expertise Center, where we have a set of equipment that helps customers actually see for themselves the quality and authenticity of diamonds that they are buying.
So, you see, normally, as someone who buys a diamond, you're given a certificate. Are you saying that that's not enough?
I think it's not enough.
There's always a concern that, diamond prices don't go up like gold prices go up, which we have seen play out in the last year or so.
Diamond jewelry is a storehouse of value.
Hmm.
Appreciation always, and if you've seen over time, there are periods when diamonds tend to appreciate a lot, and there are periods when diamonds tend to be kind of holding their value.
Well, as customers who buy jewelry often, one of the questions that always comes up is that how do you know your jewelry is authentic? With gold, there are ways, but with diamonds, we've always had to perhaps rely on the certificate or the word of the person that we're buying from. That may change because Tanishq has a new way to check your diamonds. And in this conversation, my team in collaboration with Tanishq, we're talking about how to make sure that the diamonds you buy or the diamond jewelry you buy is in fact authentic. I'm in conversation with Arun Narayan, who's the CEO of Jewellery Division at Titan Company. Arun, thank you so much. Tell me about this new technology that you've gotten. Is it going to be in all the stores? And how does it work?
Thank you, Faye. Wonderful being with you on your show. It's called the Diamond Expertise Center. So it's the first time anywhere in retail, anywhere in the world, that you have something like this, where we have a set of equipment, most of the technology is ours, that helps customers actually see for themselves the quality and authenticity of diamonds that they are buying.
How does it work?
So we have different devices. So the first is the diamond Karatmeter that clearly tells you using UV photoluminescence whether the stone that is there in your jewelry is a simulant of a diamond, or is it a natural diamond, or is it a lab-grown diamond. So that's the most important centerpiece of the diamond.
Because there's a huge price difference between a lab-grown diamond and a natural diamond.
Yes, there is a huge price difference, and you ought to know what you're paying for and see for yourself, going beyond certification. That's our belief. And that's how we started the gold Karatmeter journey about 27 years ago. And now pretty much it's the same thing coming a circle for diamonds.
So you see, normally as someone who buys a diamond, you're given a certificate and the jeweler tells you that, okay, if you at some point want to exchange this for something else, as long as these are diamonds you bought from me, I will exchange them for you, bring this certificate with you. And usi barose le jate. We just said, okay, we have a certificate, so we know what we have. Are you saying that that's not enough?
I think it's not enough. And we at Tanishq believe even if it is enough, we should go well beyond that. See, even in gold today, there is a hallmarking. And it's done by the BIS. You can check the purity on the BIS site. But we still have gold carat meters in all our stores. So you can check for yourself. So it's just that taking it one step beyond where it needs to be, so that as a consumer, you feel totally confident about what you're buying.
So one is obviously to be able to tell the difference between a natural diamond and a lab-grown diamond. And I remember someone telling me when lab-grown diamonds just started that they're so good that even a jeweler can't actually point out the difference. But you're saying that there is technology now to be able to tell the difference.
Absolutely. There always has been technology. So in the back end, in our sourcing, we've been using it now forever. All we have done is now bring it up to retail so that it's in full view of the consumer. So we've ensured pipeline integrity of our diamonds right from many, many decades now. And all we have done is make all this equipment, which is, let's say, industrial grade, retail grade, and bring it to stores so that as a consumer, you can see what actually we've been doing for decades.
You know, the other thing as a customer is when we buy diamonds, and I'm including myself here, you'll have the person at the store tell you, okay, madam, it's this kind of clarity and it's this kind of cut and it's this kind of brilliance. And we'll pretend to look at it and pretend to know what we're talking about. We don't really know. So you take their word for it. If it looks nice, we buy it. Are you saying that there's now a way in your store to be able to check that as well? So I can bring you an old piece and your store can check whether or not the clarity and the cut is what I was promised?
Yes. So apart from the diamond carat meter, we also have a device called the clarity viewer, which zooms into your diamond and can tell you the clarity of the diamond. So the way the grading is done, starting from what is called as VVS, which is very, very small inclusion, all the way down to, let's say, an I grade, which is inclusion. It's possible to zoom in, and if you have a trained gemologist who looks at that image, he can tell you the clarity of the diamond. And what we can also do is, if you bring, let's say, a necklace which has many diamonds in it, we can tell you the entire story, whether everything is of the same clarity or if there is, a mixed clarity in the piece.
Because, unlike overseas or in the West, where there is a lot of, people tend to make jewelry with solitaires. So there's one large diamond to check. But in India, we have a lot of designs where there are smaller pieces,
Yes.
all clubbed together, clustered together. Can your machine detect that as well? What is the size to which it can go?
So it's a 100x kind of zoom, and we have a trained gemologist in all our stores. So the gemologist can actually make that out and also point it out to you on a large screen so that you can see for yourself.
Okay.
So in India, it is not a center stone, large stone,
Yes.
Jewelry market. It is the products we like are where the stones are spread. We like our fell out or spread.
Yes.
And it is meant for the Indian jewelry market. It's meant for the Indian consumer. And it's meant to give you confidence that what is there in the certificate is what exactly, we are trying to bring alive.
Is this proprietary technology to your company, or is this something that eventually all jewelers will have in India?
See, it is good if all jewelers have.
Okay.
And that's exactly what happened with the gold carat meter. We were the first to bring it out. It was a technology that wasn't in jewelry. It was in a different category altogether, and we brought it to jewelry. And very soon, it became an industry standard. But it's a great industry standard to have. So we are happy to pioneer that.
I read in the note that this is the first of its kind in the world.
Yes.
How is that possible? Why hasn't, the other markets, especially in Europe, which deals with diamonds a lot, why haven't they come up with it yet?
I think lab-grown diamonds is one, let's say, trigger point that could have kind of got people to do it. But perhaps, they didn't think the need for that. And perhaps their jewelers maybe felt that just the name is, sufficient for people to kind of. But at Tanishq, we believe that, trust is the cornerstone, but you need to reinforce and bring alive trust at points in time, so that as a consumer, you are, you underline and you make it clear to them that their trust is well placed. So we believe it's important at times to bring it alive and not leave it to a point where people take your word for it only.
I mean, we traditionally, in our grandmother's times or before that, they would be a family jeweler. And it's for the trust purpose, really, that people would always go back to that family jeweler. If you're looking at the entire Indian jewelry buying market, and I mean, there have been enough jokes about the fact that Indian women are holding more gold than most countries at this point.
35,000 tons.
35,000 tons. Is there a shift to buying from stores? And what is that shift? Since you've been around now for 30 years in the company?
Yes.
What sort of shift have you seen in 30 years?
Yeah. So there is a formalization that's happening across categories in the economy, and jewelry perhaps is at the forefront of that. And from a very small single-digit number many years back, today the organized part of the jewelry industry contributes anywhere from 35 to 40%. And that trend is only going to increase. And we are seeing this across the length and breadth, small town, large town, metros, hinterland, that people want to buy from more organized stores. They want to spend more time in their purchase, and therefore they want a certain environment. They are looking to buy new tales of tradition. They're looking to buy new collections. So, and the design sensibilities and design appreciation today is far more than in the past.
Or it used to be?
Yes.
I do want to talk to you about, the quality of cut and clarity and impurities. You did say that you have now technology that can detect that in the stores, but there was a large, I remember, a huge sort of chasm of explaining this to audience members when you, or to customers when you started off, because diamonds are complex. And when you go to buy diamonds, all of this, sort of jargon tends to seem a little overwhelming. But is the Indian customer now doing more research? Have they understood what they're looking for when they come to the stores? Or do or are your salespeople still doing a lot of education?
See, I think education is really,
Never stops.
never stops.
Yes.
Right. And a lot of consumers today do their research online and walk into the store, which makes the ask of the person behind the counter in the store that much more difficult, because people who come in are already very knowledgeable.
Yes.
And therefore, we spend a lot of our time in training our staff and ensuring that we also do a lot of consumer connects, what we call as diamond awareness sessions in smaller groups, larger groups, to really bring alive what buying a diamond really is. And anything which is opaque needs to be made transparent. And if it is made transparent, then people tend to appreciate it that much more and don't need to take your word for it, and they can see it for themselves.
Yes.
And generally, when people see it for themselves, they can also appreciate the effort that's gone behind to make it happen. So that's where a lot of our focus is. And I think women and jewelry is a very, very involved purchase, right? And a simple purchase can take a couple of hours. And we do see that a lot of women come in, they, what they like first is eventually what they may end up buying 3 hours later. But they'd like to spend 3 hours in ensuring that that's really
That's
what
the best deal.
is the best. So therefore, it's important to educate, to have a conversation and ensure that all her questions, doubts, everything is kind of clarified, and she goes back feeling fully confident that she's bought something that's best for her.
If I were to ask you as a customer, why should I trust Tanishq and not the other competitors in the market, what's your honest answer?
See, I wouldn't go to the second part of your question. Why you should trust Tanishq is come in and see for yourself. Don't take anybody's word for it, either pro or against. And you will see at Tanishq exactly what you're paying for. Whether it is to do with workmanship, it is to do with design, it is to do with the ingredients, it's to do with the plating. You can see for yourself. And we have, I think, enough equipment, we have enough people, and we have all the time and all the jewelry to make it clear to you and to convince you that, and enough stores in the country and international as well, to make it as clear to you as to why you should be buying Tanishq. We started by saying, and for many years and even today, we say Tanishq a Tata product. So there is a certain trust that is implicit, but we also believe there is, for mature Tata brands, there is a need to, in a way, give back to Tata by way of ensuring that that trust is actually doubled and tripled in the business. So therefore, when you walk into Tanishq, there are enough points of contact where it's not about drawing from the Tata name, but it's actually about giving back in at every touch point, that you believe that that Tanishq is imbued with that trust.
I understand that Tanishq, you will exchange diamonds that are bought from Tanishq. But one person from your team actually told me that you're now marking each diamond at the base.
We're marking our solitaire diamonds to begin with. And we've been doing it for many years. It's not a new thing.
So 20 years later, when I come back, you'll still be able to tell that it is a Tanishq.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We used to do what is called as a girdle marking earlier using a certain technology, but now we have upgraded that to a technology called photolithography, which is on the table of the diamond. And all our stores have a marking viewer with which you can see it before you buy. And then whenever you come, it's there and it's got a Tanishq logo in it. So the authenticity is ensured.
I mean, one of the things, jewelry is also considered an investment by people who buy it. And there's always a concern that, diamond prices don't go up like gold prices go up, which we have seen play out in the last year or so. What's your response to that? When people then, we normally have parents who tell us just buy gold. Don't buy any sort of stones in it because that actually weighs on the value.
So I think, diamond jewelry is a storehouse of value. Appreciation always, and if you've seen over time, there are periods when diamonds tend to appreciate a lot, and there are periods when diamonds tend to be kind of holding their value. And similarly with gold, for a period, I think up to 2011-12, gold rates went up. And then from 2012, if I'm not mistaken, to 2019, it stayed absolutely flat. So these are cycles that every precious metal or commodity or whatever you call it goes through. And right now we are in a phase when gold is having a bull run, and diamonds, for many reasons, the value has kind of stayed where it is. But over time, like for example, do you know that the oldest thing you will touch in your life is a diamond? Every diamond is 1 billion years old. You will never touch in your life any object older than a diamond. So there are things which are special about a diamond beyond just the price and looking at it purely as a appreciating asset class. There are many other reasons to appreciate it. But having said that, a diamond should hold its value.
I understand you have a new product which, has 2 diamonds split out of the same origin piece. What is that? What is the product?
So Faye, this is the most unique engagement ring you will find anywhere in the world. So a pair of rings made from a single rough, and therefore 2 diamonds that have traveled the earth for 1 billion years to bless you for your lifetime of togetherness. This concept is called the soulmate diamond pair, and it's available only at Tanishq anywhere in the world. So you have 2 diamonds made from the same rough in 2 rings, one for him, one for her, that have been together for 1 billion years.
So actually my question about the new technology that you have on diamonds in your stores, do I have to be a customer and buy from you to be able to use it, or can I just bring stuff out of my locker and check it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone who wants to check their diamonds or even their gold can walk into Tanishq and check it out for themselves. In fact, we had a very interesting situation a couple of weeks back when we took it to an event in Patna. We had a customer who brought her jewelry that's been in their family for decades, but kept aside and in a way condemned, saying, this is worthless and has no value. And she said, okay, I'm just bringing it just to make sure that, we've kind of just thrown it in the corner of some house. So she's, can you check what it is? And lo and behold, it was natural diamonds. And she said, my God, the way we've been throwing it around, it's worthless, and I'm going to now keep this. So the idea is not just to kind of tell you what could have gone wrong, but actually for you to appreciate what
Hopefully
you have.
everybody finds something under their mattresses that is of value. Thank you so much for speaking with me today and for your time.
Faye.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.